Assalamualaikum. Oh ya, besok jam. Mas besok. Kisah ya? Hah? Ada? Apa? Enggak, aku bingung sang.
Shopee itu enggak janda kan? Udah 10 tahun dari.
Oh.
Bisa. Uwi tadi katanya kamu gini. Ini aku mau nengok kan. Wong naik benda di obat di kunci lo udah jarang malah bukan. Anak benda kan ini apa?
Mau tuh.
Di sini.
Mau nggak? Ya aku betul apa enggak? Ya, di promo itu. Allah, kan jalur satu enggak, aku tak melok, kamu bilang tak melok kan tak enak. Jadi kan tidak enak itu. Kamu mau melok enggak? Berarti.
Aku ngomong aku enggak. Jangan. Ini jaraknya nih tak? Macam ni.
Iya.
Oh enggak. Oh ya, itu enggak boleh. Kalau mau ketemu dia, enggak boleh. Mungkin pun satu.
Lain kan gitu. Yang rumah oh, kan ngambung bentuk kan. Apalagi di sini gitu.
Iya. Apa ini? Wih, malah kalau wis orang ini kompor dulu.
Overall, the teams have now played 32. There's the first header to make the last game here, won the competition last season with Crystal Palace, was knocked out in the third round by Macclesfield, and he is starting the final. To see the least. Just looking down at the Chelsea lineup, it is a back five at the start of the parade. The left wing back, Alex Russo on the right, and the three in the middle, Wesley Fofana, Levi Colwell, and Jarrell Martin. I think it's fascinating seeing the front two are in front of Nobar, which is right up there alongside the goal.
It's one with a bit more range, a bit more run power behind Haaland, but these options on the bench, you know, if it gets to that stage where he needs to make the change of forward and shaky for sure.
Great atmosphere inside the stadium. Teams have been here many, many times before. City have got the best form by a distance. Chelsea's last two wins have both been in the FA Cup against four penalties, but around those victories, they've lost 7 and drawn 1 of the other 8 matches. City unbeaten in 9 games in all competitions, and they've won 8 of them during that sequence. There's Jeremy Docker, who's forward at the moment for Manchester City. It's outstanding, but he's lost down there. Cyril Wesley Fofana, and now they're starting to out there on the right hand side. Reece James in central midfield, and he did near for the way he played second half at Liverpool.
Do you know something? I was really surprised because he came in and looked as though he did all season. He didn't put a foot on, came into the next game, up to us at the 62nd minute. And it makes a big difference. Just looking at the back of 4, Chelsea back of 4, right in front of the 5 that you mentioned. Very, very sound defensively.
Pemerintah kayak gak mau ya kan? Beneran yang gue deh gitu kan?
The Cup final was vital to Manchester City. James Trafford has started all of it.
Ini mau berapa? Kabar?
Against Liverpool in the final earlier this season. What about the headgear for Robert Sanchez? Will that be a concern for him? Might that affect his concentration? I know he's going to wear it for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think safety is more important. You know, that makes him safe out there, that's the key. I'm sure he's tried and tested and trained. With technology nowadays, will make that extremely comfortable for him. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Like a pull up the season for this, which makes us obviously super rare. A really strong game for Liverpool last weekend. Well, the FA Coyle, it must be his relief is absolutely spitting on the start of the FA Cup by having the season that he's had.
No, nice to him. It did make a difference so when he came back in last week.
Well, there's Callum McFarlane. It's his 6th game as a manager, the 2nd fewest all time for any manager in an FA Cup final. The only man who's been in charge of fewer matches, Sid Owen with Luton Town back in 1959. He was actually managing for the first time that day in the FA Cup final against Forest. What a story he is, and what an opportunity he's got today to write his own chapter in this wonderful historic competition. Pretty confident to say that he's the first who's back to start an FA Cup final in Düsseldorf.
I don't think they take too many chances there now. I'm just looking at City when they got the ball. Actually looks like 4-2-4. When you mentioned Mamushi starting to play off, I didn't expect it to start that high.
Dengan keluhan Mamus yang itu.
That might be down to them playing maybe 3 centre halves, so you can afford to push them on.
It's almost caught in possession there by João Pedro. It's going to be the Chelsea ball. City beat Chelsea 3-0 at Stamford Bridge last month after the teams had told the Etihad earlier in the season. But City have lost in the last 13 games against Chelsea. His last success against them was in that Champions League final back in 2021. Here's Cucurella on the charge. Palmer's the one trying to get into the middle. And Nunes, who developed into a very good right back for Manchester City, did well.
Cucurella was looking for a free kick, wasn't he? Not sure it was. Oh, lovely little day off the red dog there, but it was perfect for him.
Today, it's the 23rd game that he's played at Wembley as a City player, which is a quite remarkable record. This almost a month, as soon as he's fitting up his ranking for Guardiola.
Yeah, it's no surprise, as Ali said, it's such a phenomenal football. Our boy, don't keep them out
Ibunya kulitnya. Siapa? Dia yang bilang waktu siapa? Saya sendiri.
I think he tries to go there, so he's right through. I think it's a left foot.
left foot on the swivel, or
Absolutely.
keep it down.
Silva. Nunes.
Iya itu.
Cole Palmer is over there trying to win it back again. Former City player, again he plays it on. That's intercepted though by Harter, but he's going to come back for a free kick here to Manchester City. Just one or two moans from the Chelsea supporters behind the Sanchez goal.
He might just catch his foot. Got a look here. Yeah, I think he does stand to his foot, doesn't he?
It's the 92nd final of Wembley, the 20th since it was rebuilt. Both teams are on FA Cup final losing streak. City have lost the last two. Chelsea have lost the last three here at Wembley in the final of this competition. The 18th successive Premier League FA Cup final, and the 18th in a row to feature a team from England or Manchester.
Udah kalau kita enggak, nanti kita berangkat langsung ke makan.
Ya.
Tanpa soro lah. Kalau nanti
Palmer's got the chance to try and get there, but Kusanov is
Gimana air nanti mantap.
Nice touch from
Ya, aku
Palmer.
nggak fokus.
Straight to it. Launched away by Kohler. It's an interesting ball, this. Which is just going to carry far enough for James Trafford. Just might have caught the interest of Joao Pedro while he was in the air, that one. O'Reilly's ball to Marmoush is the furthest forward here for Manchester City. Doku to O'Reilly. And well defended by Fafana, but that was good football from Manchester City.
It's an excellent little reverse ball. Good one, we've seen it so often from O'Reilly in behind. That's the initial run from Marmoush.
Jamie Doku looking for a bit of room. Towards Rodri's header. It's an
Oh,
important
no, salah tuh.
eventually the free kick to Chelsea's way. Found a lot of space in the box though. Rodri.
Nanti salah tuh.
Far too much from Chelsea's point of view. I think Fernandes just takes his eye off the ball. Rodri, as you can see, he's looking right across the line. Here's the free kick.
Nanti salah tuh.
Right foot from Hamlet.
Oh, itu kan. Nanti
Just switched off a bit there, Fernandes.
I think the most astonishing number is that Erling Haaland's played in 50 semi-finals or finals for Manchester City and never scored in any of them. If I said that to you without us knowing the answer, you'd say absolute nonsense, wouldn't you?
Correct.
I did see this morning when we got the two lads who are leading the way in terms of the goal scoring this season, Lyle Taylor and Liam Atkinson. Both of them were petrified that Haaland might score 4 or 5 today. That's the respect that he's got. Lovely pass into space by Silva to Nunes. Manchester City starting to settle. Antoine Semenyo. Nunes. Good defended by Cucurella.
Cucurella.
Tends to do all right in these situations.
It's interesting how quick Chelsea get support out on the side of the pitch. You know, to Doku and Semenyo, you can't allow them to be one-on-one situations. You've got to get support over.
Doku against Gusto. Palmer's turn to come back and help. Now Gehi. Was expecting that. He was running there, wasn't he, from O'Reilly?
I think he went checked. Go back out the way.
An omen for Chelsea today is that 6 of the last 9 finals have been won by the team lower in the table than kickoff. And one for the 9 teams to beat Southampton in the semi-final went on to lift the cup. So there's an omen for both of them at the start of this FA Cup final. Joao Pedro fouled there by Rodri.
Mana ni? Hah? Very good.
Interesting that was good Joao Pedro away here. Offside flag though went up eventually. Tight though.
Siapa?
Lukaku able to keep his balance and pick up Nunes. Semenyo plays the ball right through the 6-yard box and nobody gambled in there.
Tremendous pass.
Yeah.
Screaming for somebody to get at the back post. Knows exactly what he's doing. Probably just a little bit too far. Good the other ball in.
He's had some stages, 19 goals in all competitions. His first goal for Manchester City was in the FA Cup third round. He scored against Liverpool in the quarter-final. He's been equally as effective for City as he was for Bournemouth before he made the move. The speed in which he settled down was impressive.
You always want to hit a great one and go at it. He's certainly achieved that.
As Pep Guardiola, 26th day at Wembley, as the Manchester City manager. He's got an 85% win percentage in the FA Cup, which you won't be surprised to hear is the best all time.
What was the other one? Was it 6 of his 7 FA Cup defeats have been at Wembley?
In semis or finals, yeah, the only team to beat him away from here in the FA Cup, Wigan in 2018. It's quite an astonishing relationship he's got with the FA Cup. Manchester City dominated the ball in the opening quarter of an hour. Goes towards Marmouche. Sanchez having dropped it but got it back again.
Dengan gini bapak berdua bos. So kita gol.
Nico Gonzalez, who scored that absolute screamer in the semi for Manchester City, one of the goals of the season. Scott Gahey for Manchester City. Against Figueroa, which is already developing into one of the great battles out there. And a good cameo. Whoever wins that one down there, Stephen, today might well help his team significantly.
Well, it's one of the benefits of the back five because it allows you to engage a lot quicker. So if Feed Semenyo or Feed Ndoko, both fullbacks, Gusto Cucurella can really get out fast, get in the faces before they can make a decision.
I think you make a good point as well, Steve. You can see Fernandes drop back to help Cucurella. Palmer on the other side. Back in with Doku gets it. Gusto as well, obviously.
It's important that we're not passive, Cucurella's throwing his arms in, he's bumping him, he's making it really uncomfortable. That's what you've got to do, you've got to let your opponent feel you. You can't be passive against the best.
Gary under the assistance of Reece James. Hostility. Cole Palmer. This is Kusanov, who's been involved in 6 FA Cup matches for Manchester City, and he's been on the winning side in all of them.
Just the flip side, back by those Cole Palmer and Fernandes, they have to do a lot of dogging, a lot of chasing, playing a lot deeper. you know what it's like as an attack play. You want to affect the game on the other side of the pitch. So that's a con to the system, if you like.
It's turning into irresistible force against a movable object. At the moment, this defensive shape of Chelsea and Manchester City trying to break through. Don't forget that we've got Roland Garros exclusively live. Starts on the 24th of May and goes all the way through to the 7th of June on TNT Sports. And not long after that, exclusive coverage of the Tour de France. That starts on the 4th of July and goes all the way to Paris on July the 26th. So that's on TNT Sports as well. So gets his centre back, but it's in time for a right to get there ahead of the That's an interesting little relationship, isn't it? Because when Callum McFarlane was at Manchester City working there, he actually coached Nico O'Reilly and others. So he does know one or two in the City group from his time there. Just a little aside to the game today.
Yeah. Just allowed to back up Stephen's point that Cucurella get tight. Watching Gusto there on the side.
Rhys James. And now Gusto promising for Chelsea. It's a good cross as well. It's hit behind by Nunes. The first real time in the FA Cup final we've seen Chelsea get into a position like that.
Well, they get it wide, don't they? You mentioned Gusto and Cucurella have got to the forward. They did there. He's got a lot of space, takes a good touch and puts an inviting ball in the back post area. Good defending.
So it's the first opportunity today for the centre-backs at Chelsea to get forward. Enzo Fernandez scored a header at this end in the semi-final against Leeds. The Chelsea captain Rhys James takes the corner short to Cole Palmer. It's Malo Gusto. And from an attacking position, they're going to go all the way back here, Chelsea, which hasn't pleased the Chelsea supporters.
No, it's not good. However, it's excellent finishing.
Just off the speaking there by Schwab. He's got a couple of headers so far against him today, which might be
One
something
thing he
to
does, he pushes himself. You know, he's got a physicality about him.
So the Chelsea making a mental note of that. Has Haaland had a touch yet?
No. But we'll see it again. He's more than capable of getting one.
Jeremy Dokken. This time Harto's got to deal with him on his own for now. Palmer quickly back to help out. And between them, they're able to slow Manchester City down and Palmer can play forward. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Kristanov's got the speed to get back. Enzo Fernandez supporting. João Pedro. Slipped over when it really mattered. Slipped over when it really mattered.
The left foot post was underneath him, but it was an excellent break. Counter attack. City probably delighted it was Kusanov rather than anybody else.
That's an example, though, Stephen, of the way that Chelsea want to play the game. They want to soak it up, hit Manchester City on the counter if they can.
Yeah, listen, the best moments have come off that structure, you know, giving City the most space around certain players to have the ball, like Huey, like Kusanov. These are the moments they've got to be careful. And City's best players find the space. I think City are a bit static now. Some of them need to start running in behind and trying to disrupt the back line a lot more. You know, it's a lot of feet. Chelsea are happy, you can see it. Everything to beat in front of them. They need to start running without the ball to try and disrupt the back line.
It's been a bit of an issue for them in recent matches, hasn't it? Then they've got top-class goals from the likes of Doku, scoring goals from really good individual goals. This has been the way they've broken teams down, and we're seeing Stephen says again today here, Ali, whether they can find that killer pass.
City are both capable of doing it. It's the early stage.
James
Oh,
Harden's
nice.
got the ball, promising for City.
Nah, ini panggilan.
Just needed a little bit more subtlety, I think, on the passing from the big number 9.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jadi ini
Gets himself in a great position. And then it's just too aggressive.
Shoot langsung.
Yeah, passing with the height himself.
Orang yang
Little one across the face.
I'm just wondering if Marush could have stepped out there, Stephen, as well.
Well, Patrick with a miss kick and short set from the other side towards Malo Gusto. This is a concern for Chelsea. The last person they want to see down is Caicedo, who's such an important player in central midfield for them. Good team from Pep Guardiola with his players. Caicedo back on his feet. Don't forget we've got the Commonwealth Games from Glasgow exclusively live. It starts on the 23rd of July and goes all the way through to the 2nd of August on the TNT Sports. It really is a busy summer of sport. Certainly just feel the need to keep an eye on Caicedo for a few minutes, won't they? It's the 7th time, by the way, the teams have played against each other at Wembley. City have won 4 of the previous 6. Manchester City fans and the Chelsea supporters. Forward. First two is on that side was Harto, here's Colwell. Caicedo. Now Enzo Fernandez trying to slip it through to João Pedro, it's important defended by Kusanov, and now Bernardo Silva just got a nudge from behind there from Enzo Fernandez. And Manchester City quickly get on with it. Semenyo plays it in. Fernandez is in and scores! And the offside flag is up to deny early goal.
I think this will be close. I don't think Haaland's offside, for sure. So pass before it. Probably goes out there. Yeah. Don't think any complaints at all.
There's that Chelsea equal ball watching a little bit. It runs off the blind side. It's that area that kind of like switch point.
In a week of numerous complaints and discussions, I'm happy to report that we got that one spot on.
Without doubt. Let's move on.
What you would say, Ali, is the Chelsea game plan's working up to this point, isn't it? 27 and a half minutes gone, it's a nice shape.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the back four, if I were big and tough, it's solid. But equally important, the front haven't really moved. So yeah, I was feeling happy.
Indomaret itu udah 2 kan?
Belum aja.
Sini.
Biar
Buat nyamuin yang lebih banyak.
pakai bakar kan?
Enggak.
Oh,
Wesley Fofana.
mana?
It's a big one down that side as well from him.
Oh, betul.
Gusto. Still defining Walker against the number of Cole Palmer. There's the first one today. Let's open up there. Thought he made a good tackle there. And he's disappointed at the outcome. Just looking at jumped into it a little bit, which might well have caught the eye of Darren England.
Yeah. I'm not so sure. I think Donkey was going for double knockback, wasn't he?
There you go.
Belum.
Oh,
Ada.
So he followed through. Which was this.
it's this one here.
Definitely follow through the right way.
On the playing field to Buenos Aires, that's perfectly fine. The FA Cup final only maybe nine. Play on. Play on. Pep's not happy about it at all. I think he felt there should have been a card there. Having said that, it's the FA Cup final.
Tidak apa di sini kan?
Gimana?
Timuran.
Gimana?
Timuran sih.
He did an actual fan show the yard, so
Dua.
Pep wanted a bit more, Stephen.
I think that was right. You see with the semi-launch, there's contact.
Malam. Tapi kalau kuning mau ini, menurut gue yang
Fofana,
sebelum
exchange.
biasa dari udah deh, nama mainnya BL, nama seru ya.
Right, keeps the ball. He did well there.
Very well.
Cole Palmer came back from an offside position though.
Karena kita ini kan Copa kalau juara seri A di bulan
Oh, there's a problem for Joao Pedro and Chelsea. Jonathan Farley getting to become the first English manager to win the FA Cup since Harry Redknapp in 2008. It's been a debate of foreign coaches since then. Just passing on a bit of advice here to Wesley Fofana. The brothers are here again today, Noel and Liam Gallagher, up there, featured prominently on the Reds list, I noticed. This week, Ali, I think they were just below Stephen on the list when I looked. There's Cole Palmer searching forward for Chelsea. Rodri got up for the Kusurov, didn't deal with it at the outset, but he got time to get back, and now look at the space for Semenyo from the clearance. That's a foul by Cucurella, and he's going to get a card for that one.
He caught the touch tonight.
Yeah.
Unless she's right there. Yeah.
Mas better.
Straightforward.
Long time to play on the yellow. You against Semenyo.
See, the thing is as well, Semenyo doesn't go back with Cucurella. It gives Cucurella a problem for
Just cheats.
Yeah,
Just cheats there for the turnover, the transition.
100%.
He's one of 4 players, by the way, starting today for Chelsea, who have never been on the winning side against Manchester City. Enzo Fernandez, Marc Cucurella, Wesley Fofana, and Malo Gusto. They've never beaten City as Chelsea players. That's to find your mark. This is the man he's going to beat today, Antoine Semenyo.
Semenyo
Good play
bukan Pak.
for Everton. opened up for him, didn't it?
Well, he does the first part of it ever so well. And the execution clear to the He's with his left foot, does that work really well, and then just back, it's all wrong.
We've all been there. Off balance. Swing it.
Away by Palmer. Doku trying to skill over there, but Malo Gusto's got the ball. Doku's going to the foul. Well, Game of Thrones is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. You can watch all episodes in the award-winning series, plus House of the Dragon over on HBO Max ahead of the new season, which starts next month. So 0-0, we've almost reached 34 minutes, and neither goalkeeper yet. Ali's made a save.
Yeah, no, I think Chelsea will be happy with it, set the team up, obviously. Not a lot of space for the City boys to play. I think Stephen makes a good point. City should be looking maybe some deeper runs from midfield.
It's a team in sky blue against a team in royal blue under slate grey Wembley skies. Can't find Marmouche. She's hardly fished in the game to this point, neither has Haaland. Nice turn by Palmer. Caicedo. Cole Palmer. Malo Gusto. That's half the guard, delivers the cross and straight into midfield. No change traffic.
Well, it takes a deflection. Gives up there.
Okay, he did well with the pass that was just behind him there. Here's Rodri. Took the right out, letting his head out. And then Semenyo and surrounded by Nunes on into Fernandes.
It's actually amazing the lack of touches. The central forwards of City have. Again, they're more than capable of getting the touch, but they've been so quiet.
Forward for City by O'Reilly. Plenty of time for Colwell to deal with it. It's a good pass. Colwell to Enzo Fernandes. Caicedo. No Reece James. Space out wide here for the right wing back Malo Gusto. This is Caicedo for Chelsea. Now Enzo Fernandes. Target here is Gusto, who can swing it in. It's a good header back Gay here. Fully aware that Cole Palmer was right behind him. A little bit of pressure for the first time in the half from Chelsea. By Colwell, He's trying to release Mark Cucurella. They'll get the throw in off Kusanov. This James plays it on. Alan Gustav gives James Marquette over there at City. Rhys James, Cole Palmer, Chelsea in business. Needed to be a better pass. Cucurella eventually gets it under control. With a bit more positivity over the last few minutes from Chelsea.
I think it's the best passes of play by a distance. It's a lovely football going on right hand side, lads.
Chelsea got more of the ball in the last 5 minutes. They're posing more of a threat. 6 minutes to play. That's been a tight first half on Monday. It's a really good ball to break the lines from Colwell. Has done that 2 or 3 times in the half from centre back. With 1 goes Palmer. 3 in the box waiting for the cross. Off the head of Bernardo Silva behind for the corner.
Doesn't look too comfortable going for that header there, Silva. But mentioned it before, good period from Chelsea.
Surprise. Cole Palmer starts with the game.
Just to release himself a little bit from his defensive duties, Anthony Palmer, to find a bit of space.
Yeah, he's just trying to receive it on the back of Rodri. And when that finds that space, where he can sit.
Well, it's the Chelsea corner, dealt with by Erling Haaland. Cucurella came onto it. Haaland was needed again. The drills one straight off the head of O'Reilly. On by Cucurella. Terrell Prato just beaten to it there by Gahey, and then he concedes the free kick. Well, 2 substitutes warming up. He's just sent Ryan Cherky out to warm up. There he is. In a game like this, you might just need his imagination and inventionality at some stage.
100% mentioned the area in the central attacking position for City has been very, very quiet. And if you're looking for somebody who could get the ball in little pockets, Cherky, I think, would be absolutely ideal to do that trick.
Eventually. A man who's going to be interested by what he sees today, Thomas Tuchel. Might have got Rhys James penciled in as a right back, but he's watching him play central midfield. He's watching Colwell as well. It might just sneak in, you never know. 1 or 2 others who are going to play a prominent role for England in the summer.
That's a chance. That's a chance. Should be better ball future.
Rodri. Nunes to Marmoush. Doku, Marquehi. Towards the final 2 minutes of the half. Haaland from the angle. Good save by Sanchez. He can explode into a game just like that.
So exactly what happened. Ball down the side. Goalie stands up. Brilliant. Fofana just gets sucked into the area. And the ball's glued in behind them.
Excellent ball by Mario. Right foot. Great weight on it.
Seven goals in all competitions this season. Haaland has got people away through. Lifted in. It's a good impressive. That's the last one. Marquehi is Semedo. Nico O'Reilly. Toronto did his job. Here's Alan Gusto. Robert Sanchez. Haaland is coming back from an offside position. The one player who can't get into the game at all is Omar Marvin.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see that change at half time. I think completely different player to Cherky, but I mentioned earlier, I don't know, Stephen, if he's like Cherky might be the one who could play in that pocket.
There's certainly lack of creativity.
Yeah.
You know, even the ball pass in the last game, you know, they needed a little bit of magic out there to try and open the door. But if the ball speed for me, Ali, you know, playing with control City, but
Doku able to prevent the goal kick as we move into 3 additional minutes. End of a half that's not generated too much in terms of goal scoring opportunities. The Haaland shot that was saved, he had the ball in the back of the net as well, but it was ruled out for an earlier offside in the build-up. The pressure by Joao Pedro, who's too strong for it. Bursting through.
Yes.
Chelsea players appealing for it. The referee clearly judged it as shoulder to shoulder.
Just off the ground. He does not go to the ground. Stands up. I think it's excellent defending. He just comes across, stands his ground. I think it's excellent.
It's been checked and cleared by Peter Banks.
I think it's shoulder charges now. And it's on the view on it. The view holding on Marquehi, about half.
Yeah. Just a wee warning for Bernardo Silva there, though.
Dibayar
An opportunity like that. Let me get you a second.
Don't want to be switching off.
Senggol. Kurang senggol.
This is Fofana, which, with a little track back, it puts Jeremy Doku on the ground, Ali. Cucurella's header finds Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea looking for a big finish. Final minute. And the stoppage time at the end of the first half. Enzo goes back to Caicedo. It's Gusto. Reece James sending it forward. Marquehi waiting for it to bounce. Cleared away by Bernardo Silva. Orwell was first to it. Now James. Last chance for Chelsea. Joel Pedro's in the box. Cole Palmer's still in there as well. That's given away. Trying to pick out Caicedo. And that's half time. So scoreless, it's a Wembley stalemate. This time not having too many touches. Erling Haaland did ball in the two most prominent moments. Had the ball at the back of the net, but he was ruled out for an offside earlier in the move involving Mateus Nunes, and he was denied by a save in the near post by Robert Sanchez as well. Chelsea well organised. Their intentions in the first half was to keep Manchester City out. They've done that. Whether Pep makes a change, we'll wait and see. Half time at Wembley. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0.
Unbelievable pressure still right there. This program is proudly sponsored by Simba Adjustable Pillows on TNT Sports.
Attention inside the stadium. The teams are ready. Bring yourselves in.
Arsenal are chasing a dream. It's magnificent.
John McGinn is for the Eagles in the Conference League final. The European champions are back into the final. This is their trophy, and they're determined to keep a hold of it.
Football cinema, it's here right now. Every last it's absolutely different class.
The stage is well and truly set.
Hey, can I get 9 nugs? 100% chicken breast with crispy sauce.
You can't use the nuts. It's always been nuts.
Have a McCrispy, please.
Where are we going? So who are you paying? Local crew. They're legit. They play win or go home. And what? How many people know about this? Headliners.
Tenemos un entorno desde el 96 a la hora de teléfono portable que la gente usaba el teléfono desde que salieron los CDs. El grupo que fue súper educativo de los programas
Cat food, arriving today with Amazon Prime. That's off your mind, so now you can worry about something else like, can Xavier read minds?
Three, two, one, go!
Baru kata kami ya. Baru terus. Itu kami ya. Itu kami ya. Langsung. Kalau dekat itu belum bayar. Oh ini. Ini sama. Today. Small. Oh iya. Kok luar? Kalau tidak jelas. 300. Malaysia. Wah, Leipzig kalah. Menang ya udah dia. 3 Leipzig. Sorry. Sudah.
Siamo una eternità. Se hai conosciuto, non ci fastidio.
Betul. Aku penyebab dari musik.
Non avesse lontano si mostrerà francese.
Buka pastinya. Udah tinggal satu lagi.
Este año, mira.
Ini setan lagi.
Ma che ha fatto parte di quello che
Allah. Cukup itu kan? Hah?
Identifier la position du.
Qui a le plus créé sur ce côté droit.
Oui, bah écoutez, il a.
ela transforma um bocadinho a eficiência do jogo do ou seja, ele chega, ele intervém.
Buril. Hah?
E de facto o Ancelotti também reconhece isso para a participação da seleção brasileira, mas o João Pedro trabalhou. Nada, eu estou errado.
I think it took well quite. If you the first time might open the game up. We hope so. Well, yeah. What's the last man? Those little. is likely to forget it.
Siapkan ini. Nomor apa namanya? Coba, saya sebut kesi kasih tulis itu. 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 Ya, itu. Nah, gini. Otomatis sama. Tuh, oke. Waduh, nanti itu paling bisa. Belum bisa. Masuk ada sih. Kak, yang ada bisa. Sampai itu. Ada sih nanti.
Corsa all'Europa e a tutti i vestiti.
Yang terlambat itu ini
On va rentrer doucement mais sûr.
Back. I mean, the player we picked out, Stephen, in the first half, who wasn't able to get into the match was Marmoush, so there's no surprise here that Cherky, who can be so inventive and so imaginative for Manchester City, is coming off. Well, that's what they lacked. Turning to Ali, spotted the first. Really good show. He wasn't effective, he wasn't really helping the team. And if you look at the City performance first half, it lacked creativity, spark, magic.
Shaky can definitely bring that to the table.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting psychic powers up here. I thought an obvious one, really. I mean, it's when it's the two forward players for City. One of them was certainly never going to be Haaland for sure. And I think, as Stephen was saying, I just think if Cherky and Talkers in front of the three centre backs, that's exactly what we wanted.
So off we go. Cherky scored 10 goals this season. He's got 16 assists. It's a wicked game of the season for Manchester City. That's the only change made by either manager. To give you some hope that we should get a goal at some stage, only twice in the last 114 years has the game been 0-0 after 90 minutes. So we do tend to get one, even when it doesn't look very likely, Stephen. So we'll kind of cling to that.
Well, let's hope not. We want to see some magic, some goals. It'd be interesting from a Chelsea point of view. They'd be really structured, well organised, well drilled. But at some point, does Callum decide? Do we go to a 4? You know, do we be a bit more adventurous, get a bit more pace on the pitch? And that's your Neto. There's options there for him.
Don't make me sense with the absolutely no that cry for help in a state of fact regarding the goals and London.
Whichever way you interpret it, I will agree with you. Certainly a game that needs a goal. James Trafford's not made a save. Thomas Sanchez did make one to deny Erling Haaland. Pedro involved for the first time in the second half. His determination and industry was a potential problem for City in the first half.
He's doing all right.
This is Jarrell Hato, now Levi Colwill. Rhys James is in central midfield, and now Wesley Fofana, but that's a heavy touch. And it goes by O'Reilly to Doku. Cherky involved for the first time since coming on. O'Reilly clips in the cross. Good chance for Manchester City.
He's got to hit the target. He's got to hit the target, Stephen. I'll tell you what, CJ, there's a brilliant touch from O'Reilly. Just to open up the cross. This touch coming up here. Back, look at that. Beautiful. I'll hang that up in the back post. Oh,
It's a fabulous cross. The weight of it, the way he backs it up. Floats it to take the keeper out of play. He actually gets up really well. Probably not a shot point at that time. I think City in front.
So what an opportunity early in the second half for Antoine Semenyo and Manchester City. And just a warning that with Cherky on the pitch, the variety of pass that Manchester City now have is different.
I'll mention that again. A lovely touch from O'Reilly. To open up the cross for him, just hang on to that back post.
So Levi Colwill. Now Enzo Fernandez, who's over there with Mateus Nunes. Free kicks given here to Chelsea. Goal scoring has been a problem for Chelsea at Wembley. They've not scored in any of their last 4 major finals inside this stadium. It's very difficult to lay a club on Manchester City in an attacking sense. In the first half, it is a system that's been set out to stop Manchester City rather than generate a lot of chances themselves. It's a Malo Gusto for Cole Palmer. It's a foul by Bernardo Silva. Forward to Jean Petro. So between his feet, that's City got it with Semenyo, but he was far too eager to try and play the pass. He needs a little composure.
It's a little bit scrappy, last 5 minutes or so.
on his feet, fouling the touchline. This team have been brilliant in domestic cup matches this season. They played 11 games before today. They've won all of them, scored 35 goals in the process. If they win today, they'll be the first team ever to win every domestic cup match in the same season. It's never happened before.
Kalau boleh jadi. Iya, mungkin.
He's Nico O'Reilly. He won the 100 England's left side in the summer stream.
Possibly could be. I think Thomas Tuchel will be delighted to see these games. Colwell on the pitch as well. After injuries, two really important players.
Could be hard Chelsea and hard City. England's back four.
QB's a shoe-in.
He was the manager the night they beat Manchester City in the Champions League final back in 2021, Thomas Tuchel.
Barry next to his assistant. Scouser.
Semenyo, well, he's going to be pulled back. He pulled for a moment there, he pulls the turnover. Whistle's gone for the foul on Colwell.
And that's a foul. Right up, so there you go, the big foul, he'll put it back. Straight forward.
It's interesting how high Cucurella is on the Chelsea left. I mean, he's on the halfway line at the moment, right up there. That's how high he is, right up there on Nunes. Whether that's,
I think that's the dinner back. So Fernandez, you know, he can get out, he can play.
right, Cherky.
To be fair to Gusto, he's attempted to do the same in this game, but he's not getting just as high.
Jeremy Doku. Riley had made that little inverted. Rodri. Straight to Caicedo. It's Wesley Fabano was actually
Man.
There's Palmer. Space out on this side now for Malo Gusto. Plenty of time to back again here, then O'Reilly. Needed to be a better cross on the Chelsea right wing back. Chelsea's defence has been tighter today. They've conceded at least one goal in 13 of their last 15 matches. The two exceptions being the last two FA Cup games against Port Vale and Leeds, but they have been relatively easy to score on, but they've been nice and tight so far. Pep Guardiola, the manager, is going to try and break them down. I think Callum McFarlane right now will be very happy with the way the game's going. That's a bit of a mistake, like Troy. It's a corner. It's a corner. Still happy concentration.
I'll tell you something else.
Lah.
Please, he's going between the posts.
Betul,
It's just one of those situations, just thinking about what he's going to do before he's going under control.
So Reece James, Chelsea's captain, had to take a corner that they weren't expecting to get after the lapse in concentration from James Trafford. Chelsea fans in full voice lifted it. Trafford came and got a bit of it, but not all of it. It's hit it all and headed away by Rodri for Manchester City. That would have been interesting.
It's a good header, Caicedo. He knows instinctively that Trafford's come for it. And he knows he'll not make it back to his line. And that's where Rodri defends it very, very well. Very well.
Doku gets away from Gusto, but that's so important, that job there that Cole Palmer's doing, Steve.
Yeah, he's doing it very selfless, hard work for the team. Shows the other side of Cole Palmer, there's all about his class, his style, his quality, but doing a great job for the team as well.
Doku just catches on the end of the ball through, doesn't he?
Won the FA Cup with Manchester City back in 2023. Chelsea's number 10. Top by Rodri, straight for Reece James.
Kau lepas, layu-layu.
Well to get there in the new there, so now wants to run in behind him.
Mula
Came
sama
over. That's a free kick. He can get the ball there.
Do you know what Cucurella does really well? He gets in front, and he knows if he gets in front, at the very least he'll get a free kick. That's exactly what happened.
He's now the first player from Uzbekistan to get booked in the FA Cup as well. It's a day of first for Abdul Kadir Kusanov.
What day? My name is Huh? My name is Dick.
But again, it was brilliant with Cucurella because he wins the initial ball up, takes it in his chest, and then runs in behind. Earns a free kick.
Conversations involving Fofana and Colwell, listening in João Pedro. Responsibility for delivery. It's going to fall onto the shoulders of Reece James. City box is headed as far as Caicedo. Got the ball. It's a good job. He think based on where he was. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Now they want a penalty, but I don't think he'll get a appeal for it. Is the decision of Darren England. They're going to take a look at it. They are going to take a look at it.
I actually thought it might be a free kick on Doku there with Ron.
Oh, jelas aku.
You can't even give it that.
I'll tell you something. If you give a penalty for that, otherwise all go home. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Hey, by the way, with the concern is Champions League is a strong wall.
Jelas.
There's nothing wrong with that. Didn't take too long.
Absolutely.
They're just working Manchester City a little bit with the Steve.
Yeah, and you know, City getting fouls away, making little silly errors.
James Dinks running. It's a good header away. Nunes for Manchester City. A bit more distance. That's a good ball. Wesley Fofana was about trying to make something happen, but he got real whip on that.
That's exactly what he got. Got into that area in front of the goalkeeper. He thought about it. You can see him, thinks about it, he's back away. Just too much on it.
A lot more belief in the Chelsea ranks. Just having a decent spell in the second half in this FA Cup final. Still 0-0 approaching the hour. There's Nico O'Reilly for Manchester City. Now Jeremy Doku. They've not quite found an attacking spark yet, City.
They haven't.
That's the second half, as you can see, with the ball from a Chelsea perspective.
I thought it would make a difference, but you've got to be honest, we're over 15 minutes in the second half. Cherky hasn't really gone either, has he?
I must say, they've been very aggressive out of possession, Chelsea, in terms of closing the City players down when the ball arrives, haven't they? It's been impressive. Reece James. Good interception that by Gahey because Cole Palmer was the target.
He just seems to fancy a little bit start the second half.
Do you know what? I was just about to say the same thing. You can feel the confidence driving the Chelsea group team.
Yeah, you can, but strangely enough, this could help City because Chelsea are not in that low block, they're not that stubborn, hard to break down team. So in transition, there's more space there for City. So just look out for that. Sometimes not having the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Help you. Especially got speed in the team.
Yeah. So Mateo Kovacic has been called back to the bench by Pep Guardiola, former Chelsea player. I suppose the big question is how long can Rodri play? I mean, you wonder whether it might be that.
Yeah, Nico Gonzalez being injured, I suppose, was on to start Rodri, so they've been leaning on that one maybe.
So there he is. The Champions League winner with Chelsea against Manchester City 5 years ago, but he's coming on for the team in Sky Blue today, and he is coming on to replace Rodri, so it's clearly a minutes thing in regard to the Ballon d'Or winner of Manchester City. Good career. Manchester City have generated nothing since Semenyo missed the header.
Wasn't a heck of a chance, wasn't it?
The Chelsea threat continues to grow. Here's Reece James, Cole Palmer, two players that Chelsea wants on the ball, and Malo Gusto. Bernardo Silva waiting firmly. Got the ball. Nice to see a slap in the hands from the two players as well. Good sportsmanship between the two of them.
Don't see enough of it.
The two captains down there. Trafford gets there in time. It's a bit of a pass by Gagan to Cherky. Kind of passes we saw from Coleman in the first half. Now Jeremy Dokken. Cherky with a
Hanging Rodri off the touch.
João Pedro getting the side of Munich. Great determination from João Pedro, but likewise on the Manchester City right back as well. Well done, the pair of them.
Yeah.
You should see Rodri try and chase. Good career there.
Oh, he's running on empty, Kovacic now. He's running on empty.
It's either empty or an injury, one of the two.
Yeah.
Was it a month he was out for?
Yeah.
Difficult pitch, cup final, the emotion. Probably only got an hour in his legs, 65.
It looked very evident there, I have to say.
Hold on to Enzo Fernandez. Space is starting to appear in the FA Cup final. After career for Chelsea, on it goes offside, flags up though. And now City can make the change. So Rodri off, he's managed 64 minutes on his comeback from injury. And the man coming on, Mateo Kovacic, is hoping for a different outcome. He's played in 3 FA Cup finals in the past. Never been on the winning side. So he's coming on hoping history changes today. Certainly nice Steve, as a player of his experience to put on into a situation like this.
Yeah, well, great player, slightly different. You know, not that natural holder, but industrious, powerful, can shoot within range, can create a bit more of an all-rounder.
So Rodri takes a seat next to Donnarumma. It's Mark Gay for Manchester City, just in there sharply. think they played really well today. Cucurella and Gusto in defensive positions when they've been 1v1 against the wingers.
Yeah, excellent. I think all fullbacks of both teams have been
Ini
amazing.
cuma kosong. Ah,
There's Palmer. Hello, Gusto. In
push.
goes the throw.
Bisa.
Gusto was
Bisa
ready.
deh. Oh, benar bisa. Oh, sabar. Oh, mana?
Wait to see what
Itu nak kau.
he's having a look at it.
Iku, oh enggak. Lesson, leset.
I think he makes a good run.
Gimana lagi di
There might be a coming together with the Arabs, but I think it would be very harsh. We'll get another look at it wrong with it.
It's been checked and cleared. I think the distinction from Ali is pretty much carried on as well when you see the replay. There's Turkey. There's a growing threat though from Chelsea. It continues in this second half. 24 minutes left. Antoine Semenyo has had the best chance of the half. Turkey. Gagey's ball in. Good defending in there. Joe Harto tracked quite well. Here's Doku. 2 to beat again. Gets it towards the near post and slipped behind by Fafana for the corner. Let's have a look at the penalty situation, Ali. I think you called it spot on.
Do you see, yeah, the picture there? I think actually, Petro tries to hold him off initially. I don't think it's enough what not Stephen, no.
Not enough anyway. Great defender by Wesley Fofana there. Stop that across the front post on the full stretch.
Haaland waits in the middle for Manchester City. Ryan Cherky is going to take the corner. There's all kinds of pushing and pulling in there, which Darren England's got to sort out.
Balik lagi. Kan? Kita elajar aja.
Sean Doku. Cherky plays one in. In actual fact, they did well to stop it going out there through Mark Gagey, but then there was nobody to react to it. Kovacic across there in front of Slav Petro. Certainly feels like a breakthrough might not be far away. I think there's
You would hope so.
a lot more of a vocal for the night. It's just starting to open up the game a little bit. People starting to get tired. It's Gay. Somebody out there against the ever willing Marc Cucurella. It's a corner. There aren't many better, Stephen, 1v1 than Cucurella.
Well, really fast to move with his speed, he's aggressive. He's timing with the bites there. Executes really well.
He won't mind me saying he must be an absolute nightmare to play against, you know.
I don't think there's any doubt. I would imagine he might get 1 or 2 domestics at the 5-a-side to training. He's that type.
Yeah. So City corner. It's a free header for Wesley Fofana. Turkey plays it forward. Do you know what always surprises me when you watch Manchester City? They scored a goal playing that way against Everton the other week. They're very really playing that central ball down for Haaland to chase.
Yeah, I think Haaland wants it more. The movement's great. I think that one was a bit tough, maybe too far out, but they've certainly got the players capable.
The foul was taken. I think there was a little bit of frustration in his challenge there because he didn't get the first one.
Whether he was or not, I'm not so sure, but definitely up his field.
What do you think of this husky version of Ali McCoy today, Stephen?
No,
He's back up through.
I'm not sure it'll catch on.
Well, I'll tell you what, City are mighty relieved there to get a free kick, aren't they? I think it's the right decision when you see the replay. Yeah,
Correct decision.
it's the first one rather than the second one, I think.
Yeah.
Son.
The final 20 minutes of the FA Cup final, 0-0. Turkey couldn't quite squeeze it through his hole. He's hardly touched the ball in the second half. Finds Bernardo Silva. When it goes to Erling Haaland.
Shoot.
Pull back to
No way.
What an astonishing finish from Antoine Semenyo! The cheekiest of throws beyond Sanchez and into the back of the net to break the deadlock in the FA Cup final with a wonderful finish.
And believe it or not, the assist comes from a man who's probably having one of these quieter afternoons. He does brilliant. He runs into an alien position for him. In behind the left back. Puts a great ball across, but it is all about the finish. The back flick. What a touch. What a goal.
These are the areas that City looked at. You know, here you're in the sides of the boxes. Passing the running.
I mean, that's one of the great FA Cup final finishes, whichever way you look at it. 20 goals in all competitions, and that is an extra special moment for Antoine Semenyo.
That's a brilliant goal. A moment of real quality. I mean, it comes behind him. He's only got two options. One is to take a touch, and the second one is to do exactly what he did.
I mean, what a signing he's turned out to be, Steve.
Incredible. Him and Matt Gay, probably up there the best January signings you'll see. That made this team stronger, both ends of the pitch. What an instinctive finish. Very little time to think about that, Ali.
No, we've been talking all morning about the great goals in the FA Cup this season, the great goals in the FA Cup all time. You put that right there on that list. Individual brilliance from Antoine Semenyo, the cheekiest of finishers from the Haaland cross, and the significance of it, the team that scores first has gone on to win the cup 23 times in the last 27 years. Arsenal 6 years ago, the last team to concede first to go and win the FA Cup. Here's the equaliser. Enzo Fernandez, after a perfect break from Levi Colwill.
Oh, that's brilliant. He just gets himself in front and actually, from his point of view, just gets too much on it. What an effort. Just comes from all through.
Well, what a chance. Chelsea make an attacking change. Off goes Cucurella. And on comes Pedro Neto, who's got 10 goals in all competitions. He's got 4 goals in 5 games in the FA Cup and scored a hat-trick in the 4th round against Hull City.
I think this is calm now, gambling a bit more. Taking the fight away, look to the ball. Knowing that you're 1-0 down to City, you can't afford to have 5 defenders on the pitch.
16 minutes to go. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. The world-class finish to Antoine Semenyo, the difference. Chelsea were so close to an immediate equaliser through Enzo Fernandez. There's Jeremy Dokken. Surely the final opens up properly from here.
Has to.
It's astonishing to think he missed the header and then scores with a goal like that.
Oh, man.
He made the easy one look difficult, the difficult one look like child's play. Haaland's going to chase it. Sanchez just got there, not the most convincing of kicks, but it was enough. Here's Doku. Cocky to go at Gusto. Look for the give and goal in Turkey. Cleared away by the right back of Chelsea. Charles Petro runs into Gahey. Neto comes away with the ball.
And those
Gahey straight the ball into the goals in the net for Manchester City.
And I'll say that the ability, Neto, that's for sure.
Yeah, more legs, more speed. You would say that the goal came with him, the run of play, Chelsea, you know, the strongest in the game at that point, but I think that helped City in a crazy way because there's more space for City to go and attack.
This Turkey. Alan Gusto still down, by the way, for Chelsea. Goku plays it on. O'Reilly's in. O'Reilly patient. When you watch Manchester City in recent matches, they play so many balls to the opposition penalty spot. There's nobody there to kick it.
Okay. Beside the boxes, they pass and run into the areas all the time.
More Chelsea
Wow, that's so interesting.
In the meantime, here's Enzo Fernandez. The big question for Peter Bates is whether Kucherov back in the back. It has been checked and cleared, so nothing doing on the VAR. Here's Caicedo. Palmer. 13 minutes to go. Palmer on the move. Gliding through. Malo Gusto. No Neto. Jerome Harto looking for Enzo Fernandez. And across came Kucherov to Neto. Look at the challenge.
Tell you, he gets his very leg across. That's an interesting one. I've seen them go.
Untuk merah. Kuning lagi gue.
Certainly a bit of a charge in there, isn't it? The ball on the shoulder, you would say.
Here's Palmer.
Just.
Gusto. Good response to go behind from Chelsea. That's an important header by Kucherov in the middle. Claw header right go by O'Reilly. Here's Palmer.
Shoot.
Enzo Fernandez.
Wow.
It's in from the goalkeeper trappers. Goku back there helping out against Gusto. That's excellent from Jeremy Goku.
It was. It really was.
It's a good final now. He's taking a while to get going.
I think we've got some 10 minutes now.
Enzo Fernandez. Forward towards Charles Petro.
Bagus.
Jamal Gahey here, he lost his balance. Nice and calm under pressure from O'Reilly. Pressure from Dokumani.
Do you know something? It does exactly what your defence want you to do. It just holds it up. It's a free kick. It takes the sting out of the game. Excellent.
And don't forget, we've got the European finals coming up. Freiburg against Aston Villa from Istanbul on Wednesday. In the Europa League, the Conference League final is Crystal Palace against Rayo Vallecano, and the Champions League final at Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal on the 30th of May. And there is a person inside the stadium today very excited about Wednesday night. His Royal Highness Aston Villa supporter. It's a big night for his team on Wednesday, Coisty.
Certainly is. Will he be there? Do we know?
I'm sure he will. One of the inviting images was him doing Sweet Caroline after the semi-final. Kovacic. They're getting Liam Delap ready on the Chelsea bench, so attacking reinforcements on the way. Into the final 10 minutes of the 145th FA Cup final of Manchester City and Pep Guardiola in control of it at the moment.
Masa dia, weh. Biasa tidak tepat. Nanti bila orang
Chelsea have got João Pedro, they're injured. He's slid in to try and intercept the pass, and he's clearly pulled something in the process. Whether it's a bit of cramp or something more sinister, we'll wait and see. Lose his balance, yeah.
You see the left leg go, can't you?
Yeah. So the Women's FA Cup final, Brighton against Manchester City, Sunday, the 31st of May, 2 o'clock, that's on TNT Speeds 1. The Isuzu FA Bars final, AFC Stoneham against Cockfosters, that's tomorrow, 2:15 on HBO Max. And the FA Trophy final, Southend against Wealdstone, is at 4:15 on TNT Sports 4. So that's all coming up. This is the goal again.
That's a brilliant flick. You can spend it every time you watch it.
Noel Gallagher enjoyed it, the City fans enjoyed it. Sublime Semenyo. Brilliant goal.
Terrific. Not sure he enjoyed it just as much as everybody else in this area, not enough.
So Delap for Reece James. Liam Delap, who's never scored in the FA Cup, he's on 124 matches without a goal. If he can score one here for Chelsea today, it would be so valuable for them. They've got 7.5 minutes plus stoppage time to do something about this Manchester City league.
Just shuffle to a 4-4-2 now, Darren. Enzo Fernandez will come back and play alongside Salcedo. Pedro and Delap up front as a 2.
Stefano, Enzo Fernandez, Malo Gusto. Sure he tried to anticipate that. Right on here to Joe Riley. Loving
Yo, Panis,
It's great. Defended from Caicedo.
Brilliant.
Astonishing defended. Here's Turkey. Neto was battling hard. No foul. Want to see that again for Caicedo, just to see how he did it.
Top man, this defender.
Ryan Turkey. Nunes drives it through the head of the goalkeeper and hit the post. It's a level for Chelsea.
If that run again, Darren, we spoke about earlier. Little
corridor
corridor
road
road
to
to
slow
slow,
way.
then it difficult to defend.
Nah.
4 or 5.
Manchester City hunting a second goal. O'Reilly.
I'm going to stand for you, see.
Oh, it was. It's off the keeper, off to the post, Alex.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Watch this.
Oh, he sticks his leg out.
I think there's a bit of fingertip as well, you know.
Yeah, you might be
Yeah,
right.
look, yeah. Here's a chance, though. A
Yeah,
little
piece
chance.
What's up? Can you buat?
To kick it out, Robert Sanchez. They can't concede it with Chelsea.
Oh, it's a good save, but you'd have fancied Cherky there all game. He's got to lift it up into height. Got to keep it low. It's on their eyes, you can see he meets it on their eyes, which is slightly harder to keep down. Take nothing away at all for the same match.
So Ali Hansel got that. Scored in an FA Cup final. The penalty is also in place.
Tas main.
Extra control. Booze from the Manchester City supporters and the Manchester United connection. When he did score in the final, he scored against Manchester City, but the Chelsea supporters hoping that history repeats itself here.
Melayu bisa berenang.
It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Missed that defensive.
Well,
Brilliant. What can I say about it?
I reckon this excellent again in the right-hand side. I'll tell you, he's running back towards his own goals. I think he manages to keep that away. Terrific defender.
Blue being sung at Wembley and the grey skies in the capital city. Here's Semenyo, the hero of the hour. Coleman gets it away. First to it, then Nunes.
I mean, apparently can take
Kemarin tuh
it.
kemarin dia
He's running forward here.
belum detik 6, detik 6.
He scores everywhere, but he doesn't score here. His 12th game at Wembley. He's still waiting for his first goal.
He's certainly got an assist though.
Yes, he has. Nathan Ake is ready for Manchester City. Sorry, Steve. Still tapping. Pushing off, pushing, working out. Turkey right in front of Pep Guardiola. Nunes, Turkey. Looking to tee up O'Reilly, but Gusto was sharper than that for Chelsea.
They were stopped.
Santos Semenyo. Hockey continues his battle with Gusto, and the free kick is given to Manchester City. Over 83,000 supporters here for the FA Cup final today. Both teams represented brilliantly by their sets of supporters. And it might just be, Ali, that one of the great FA Cup final goals turns out to be the difference.
Certainly looks that way at the moment, doesn't it? Time slipping away from Chelsea.
Vucic on the Turkey. Now Doku. Pep Guardiola inching ever closer to another trophy as the Manchester City manager. Looking to get the other side of Gusto, but he was nice and strong there, Steve.
Yeah, defended really well. He has got all day. The one he wants. Really impressed by him.
Genki jumping higher than Delap. We're expecting 5 additional minutes when we see the board, so time well and truly running out on Chelsea's hopes this season. Offside flag up against Harden. Confirmation of 5 minutes.
Menit.
Fernandes almost got the Chelsea equaliser straight after Semenyo had scored. Alan Gusto with the cross.
Wah, tuh.
Too much on it.
Dia lang.
Sometimes you got one, hasn't it? Just got to attempt to keep that going where it came from.
Ali, what about the player of the match?
Yeah, there's been some good individual performances in quite a tense game. I think Stephen's right, I think Kovacs have done well, Gustav played well, O'Reilly's played well. I enjoyed Doku's performance. But I think, to be honest with you, at this moment in time, and this is a dramatic change, if somebody scores the only goal of the game of that quality in any cup final, I think you've got to come into the record for man of the match, and that's why I would give it to Semenyo for the one real bit of quality.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
So the man in possession, the player of the match, the 145th FA Cup final. His flick, a defining touch of what's been a relatively tight game. There's a yellow for Moises Caicedo. We've got a few penalty appeals today, Chelsea. Maybe that last one that they didn't get is the contentious one that maybe Callum McCarthy's has something to talk about. Certainly something that the two Joes will look at, I'm sure, after the match.
It's certainly worth a conversation, for sure.
So Manchester City closing in on another victory in an FA Cup final, having tasted final heartbreak in each of the last 2 seasons. They're winning for the 8th time, and they'll join Spurs, Liverpool and Chelsea on that number. 3 minutes away from a 17th major trophy in charge of Manchester City with Pep Guardiola, possibly his last one as the manager. And his team are going to become the first English club side ever to win all 12 domestic cup matches in the same season. So they've been the team in the cups this season. Fowler with a hurried clearance. They're also going to win the League Cup and the FA Cup in the same season for the first time since 2019. Even in what could potentially be a summer of change, some things being treated not exactly the same.
I mean, the records, domestic and the cup this year was a one, you already mentioned.
The Chelsea game plan, Stephen, if it does finish like this, almost worked.
Yeah, David, you know, you've got to give Callum a lot of credit for that. I think he nullified the City team for large parts. I think at a stage like this, though, he will question himself, you know, should he have went to the ball a little bit quicker? The game was in the balance, should he have backed his players, his team a little bit more? Did he have too much respect for Man City?
90 seconds to go. Got to get on with it, Chelsea. Launched up towards Fofana. Flicked on. Beautiful for Neto. Neto hits it straight at O'Reilly. On the space for Doku. Challenge by Chelsea still in the lead with 1 minute to find the goal. Haaland off and running. Jeremy eventually gets it.
Always love it.
Listen to me. The first one, didn't he?
He really did the promos and all that, Stephen.
He's screaming out now. Screaming out.
That's how livid he is.
Oh, someone.
I think he's actually more
Someone is sorry.
You strikers are wild up there, Italians.
I think you can go out 3 in the moment.
DKI pas ke onset.
And he ends up taking a poor touch as well, probably frustration. as much as anything.
And the full-time whistle is blown. The Gallagher brothers celebrate. Pep Guardiola shakes hands with Callum McFarlane. Manchester City have won the FA Cup. It's another trophy for Pep and his players. A domestic cup double. Another glorious day at Wembley for the City players and the supporters. A wonderful goal from Antoine Semenyo with the cheekiest of flicks. And the blue moon will replace these grey skies and will shine brightly tonight over Wembley Stadium. It's Antoine Semenyo's day, Pep Guardiola's day, and Ali McCoy's Manchester City's day.
Yes, I think that's fair. Overall in the game, I thought Manchester City had just a little bit more creativity about them in the game. Yes, Chelsea superior to the match with a lot of controlled possession, but when you've got players in the team that can produce a little bit of something different, a little bit of magic, you can always win games of football. And the goal we won the FA Cup final, let's be honest, special.
A lot of the time, Steve, in these finals are decided by great moments. One great moment, an individual moment, and that moment today belongs to Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah, it was special. And listen, a lot of the other City players would mention, they defended really well today. 2 centre-halves for amazing full-backs. But it's that one moment that decided the game, and it was special. It was instinctive, it was quality. And yeah, deserves to win any game of football, I can imagine.
The celebrations are well and truly underway. Chelsea beat them Wembley, Manchester City win the cup for the 8th time. It's the perfect send-off for Bernardo Silva and others in the Manchester City group, but who knows, it might be the perfect send-off for Pep Guardiola as well. But the wonderful moment from Manchester City's winger, Sublime Semenyo, and City celebrate under the Wembley arch. It's finished Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1.
And the Sky Blue side of Wembley are on their feet to celebrate a cup double for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City this season. Joe Hartson, I'm sad for your reaction, Joe.
Brilliant, got the job done. That man, Antoine Semenyo, etched his name in FA Cup history. What a goal! It was a touchy game. Chelsea stifled City, they definitely did. But I just felt like it was coming, that quality. And what a brilliant goal to settle it.
Joe, the game seemed to open up after that, didn't it? And Chelsea had their chances too.
It's what Manchester City do to you. They probe, they push, they make you work. Cole Palmer and Fernandes done a great job defensively, but when you've got that quality, Semenyo, Haaland, you can Cherky off the bench. Listen, I think they're the best team in Europe at the moment in current form, and they just had a little bit too much at the end, so you've got to give them credit. And listen, the goal is a little bit of genius, and on the biggest stage you have to have big moments, and with someone who's turning that man in your picture there, he's turned into a very, very big player. It's a wonderful goal to win the best domestic trophy in the world.
Antoine Semenyo's just had such an interesting route through football, an unconventional route through football. He had a chance earlier on, which he missed, a header that just went over the bar, and then the second chance that he had, just a few minutes after that, which was a very difficult finish, he managed to put away Joe.
Top players in it, Colin. You don't put that aside. People, even the best miss, not a problem. It's what you do in the big moments. Like you say, he stepped up. He wasn't great today, even probably by his own admission. He's had that big moment for his club. Signing in January, the goals that he scored all season have been humongous for Manchester City. Mark Gahey, Stevie touched on it, and Ali and Fletch all in commentary. Those signings in January, unbelievable.
They've been inspired signings, Joe.
They've been inspired signings. And I think Stevie said it in comms. I think probably one of the two best January signings we've seen. Because traditionally players, particularly in the forward position, when they come into Pep's team, they take a while to settle because the movements, the patterns, and things like that. But Semenyo is outstanding. Outstanding, just settled straight in, made big impact. You can see the players giving the ball. Mark Gahey as well. He just looks so assured, and they look so much more stronger at the back.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Pep Guardiola will be delighted with another bit of silverware for Manchester City. Why don't we get some reaction from the goal scorer, Antoine Semenyo, is speaking not only with Jules Breach, but also with Joe Hart.
Antoine, congratulations. You're an FA Cup winner for the first time. Can you sum up how you're feeling right now?
I don't know how I feel right now, to be honest. I feel like I'm quite numb at the moment, but once we get the trophy and stuff, I think we'll kick in more.
That was a cheeky goal to win it.
Yeah, just tried to improvise the best I could, and yeah, when in the bottom corner, so I can't even complain.
It seems like time slowed down, Antoine. You just look so composed. You won't have seen the replay yet. But it looked like it was meant to be. Erling cuts it back, and just the connection, the finish, unbelievable.
I've done it a couple times in training, so I mean, it was behind me, so that was the only thing I could do. And lucky I got good connection, and yeah, I went in the bottom corner.
You said you do that in training. You genuinely practice that type of finish.
Not practice, but you know, if it goes behind me sometimes, I might try and trick or two. And yeah, it worked today, so I'm grateful.
Sum this season up so far, mate, because absolutely brilliant form at Bournemouth, a great send-off as you deserve, and then you just walked into this Manchester City team. You've been phenomenal.
It's been hard work, to be honest. Learning a lot, and got top pros around me, top coach, and yeah, it's been a great 4 or 5 months, and long may it continue.
When you talk about hard work, you've had an incredible journey as well, from some of your unsuccessful loan spells themselves, playing in League 2 as well, in the Premier League, and now winning trophies with Man City. 2 trophies already since you signed in January. That's inspirational.
Yeah, it is. It shows hard work pays off at the end of the day. Whatever happens in your life, it doesn't mean it's the end. So you just have to keep working hard and get your opportunities.
What's been the motivation? You obviously know John Stones, Bernardo Silva, guys you don't know that well, but you know how important they are at Manchester City.
Yeah, they're big characters in the changing room. You learn from them every day, just their standards, just being a pro. I'm picking up on a lot of things, and I'm so grateful to have characters like that in the changing room. And they're making me better as a person, as a player every day. So grateful for them.
And what about working with Pep as well? What's it been like?
Yeah, he's a madman. He's a madman. Listen, we all love him. He's so passionate. You can see he wants to win trophies. And what he's done for the club's been amazing. So I'm so grateful to be here. So grateful he gets to coach me, make me a better player, and yeah, he's just a top man.
Antoine, go and enjoy these celebrations.
Thank you very much.
Excellent comments there from Semenyo. We talked about his unconventional journey through football. It's so lovely to hear just how humble he is, how much he's enjoying his time, and how far he's come through his football career
It's
today.
a great story, and there's I said young footballers out there, and you know they've had unsuccessful trials and things like that. If you stick it out, you believe. You know, and that man there, he's remarkably composed for someone who scored maybe one of the great FA Cup final goals in his first season. You know, just a cool guy. He's doing his thing. You know, I love watching him play football. Joe was right. He wasn't actually at his best today. You know, he wasn't quite going. But the great players, he sticks at it and he gives you a great moment. And you know, you can't help but back him. You know, I'm pleased with him.
Joe Hart's just returned to the desk. I love there how Antoine Semenyo called Pep a madman. He's won 20 trophies, if you include a Community Shield as well, at his time with Manchester City. You've got to be a madman to be able to do all of that.
Of course you do, and that is a compliment. Trust me, that's a compliment. And he knows it. He knows he's not like this. He's not a normal person. That's the brilliance of him. Look, he's coaching now, even with Bernardo Silva. It's not over what he wants from this team, what he wants from football. But he's got people who are fighting tooth and nail for him, for his team, for this club. A special day.
We know that the league isn't quite over yet, but if you're honest, Joe, this is the last time Pep Guardiola will win an FA Cup with City.
Again, I'm not sure, Laura. I think it's down to him. I think he don't even know. I think he can wake up on Tuesday and go, you know what, I'm going to do it again. We're going to roll it back. We're going to go. Or he could listen. He goes on his own terms. Joe's right. He is a genius. He's changed football. Like, let's be honest. When you come over in the style of play, people went, you can't do that in the Premier League. Not only can you do it, you can dominate and do it and make. There's managers up and down the country, Clones trying to do what he does. But he's a step ahead. He's always innovating. Like I said, this latest Manchester City team is a different entity, Joe. The way that they don't open force play. There's more one-on-ones, there's more jumps, and he's evolving. Brilliant. And that's hard to say.
I'm just trying to see that how Pep Guardiola might be feeling. He looks like he could be a little bit emotional there. There was another nice moment a minute ago between him and Bernardo Silva as well. There'll be some tough goodbyes this season for Pep Guardiola and some of his stalwart. I mean, Bernardo Silva as well, 19 trophies at this club too. It's just incredible what he's achieved.
It really is. I just spoke to him on the pitch there, thanked him for his services to the club. But he's still, you can tell he's in the heat of battle, scratches all over his face. Out of breath. He works so hard for this team. They're not going to give up that title, that Premier League, you know. It's not over. They'll enjoy it today. They know they're going to Bournemouth on Tuesday night. They've got another massive game representing this incredible club.
What will they do? Can they properly celebrate this? They've still got a couple of games left.
Well, I mean, they can do. It depends how you celebrate. You see, you share it with your family, enjoy the moment, you take in it. I think this team is so accustomed to winning. You know, they're so driven. They'll be on it for Tuesday night. Massive game. You know, listen, we'll see what happens over at the weekend. But they have to go and be Bournemouth to stay in the hunt. Let's be honest. Listen, they'll enjoy themselves tonight, shall we say, but in a sensible way.
All right, guys. Well, look, here you go. Chelsea, the runners-up in the FA Cup this year, making their way up to the Royal Box. So let's get you back up to our commentary team, Fletch, Adam Cloyce, and Stephen Gerrard.
Thank you, Laura. Well, you don't need me to tell you that this isn't the walk that the Chelsea players wanted to make. They've got a huge summer ahead of them. It's their 20th defeat today in all competitions. It's the season without a trophy, and they go into the summer without a permanent manager. And with so many questions to answer and problems to solve, it's certainly a club that needs some work, a team that needs improvement, and a fan base, Stephen, that needs some answers. Today was the day when they could potentially have got some redemption for what's been a disappointing season, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, no, it's a missed opportunity. I think they can be proud of the effort, the performance. I thought the manager set them up in the right way. You have to give City that respect. You can't go toe-to-toe with this City team. If you're not as good as them, because they'll hurt you even more. But there's definitely a lot of questions at the moment. I would say that the fans want answers to. They need to attract an elite manager to sort of coach these real talented players that they've got. They need to recruit in the defensive areas for me. I think they need a centre half to complement Colwell.
There's Callum McFarlane, who has had to step in twice this season. Hardly any experience. Did his best to set this Chelsea team up the way he thought might prove to be successful.
Yeah, and you know something, they did okay. I thought they did okay. But in the grand scheme of things, they were a terrible end to the season. Was it 6 defeats in a row? 1 goal, John Pedro scored a goal. They were slightly better at Liverpool. You know, I didn't think they were brilliant in the semi-final, and they were all right again today. I don't think they did enough to go and win the game. So I wouldn't let the 3 average performances gloss over a poor end.
His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, handing out the runners-up medals. Robert Sanchez receives his, and the 2 men at the end of the Chelsea line, the captain, Reece James, and the caretaker manager, Callum McFarlane, who's going to go back and coach the under-21s when they've decided who the permanent manager is going to be. Thomas Tuchel, a former Chelsea head coach, the England head coach, one of those shaking hands with Callum McFarlane. The City players are waiting. Well, the brothers have stayed for the presentation. Of course they had one or 2 memorable nights themselves at Wembley in the last few months. From bitter enemies to great friends, it's great to see. Manchester City through and through. And they wait now for the Manchester City players to make their way up the famous Wembley steps. I've got to say, one thing that I do like is that when you see the Champions League final, the European finals, they do all of this on the pitch. Yeah. There's something special about walking up there and receiving the FA Cup up there at the top of the steps where everybody can see you.
Oh, absolutely. Well earned. I think they're right. You want to make it a spectacle, and that's a spectacle.
Stephen, tell me what this walk's like that they're about to make, the Manchester City players. There's the trophy.
It's a lot better when you're the winner. I've done it for Kenny more in the League Cup. Different to Cardiff coming on the pitch, but yeah, special moment. It's not nice to pick the runners up, of course it's not.
One of the great trophies in all of professional sport. Maybe the most iconic club trophy in world football. And Pep Guardiola, why not, is going to lead Manchester City up the steps. What a day for the players, what a day for him. For the likes of Bernardo Silva and John Stones, it's the last time they'll walk up the steps to get a medal as a Manchester City player at Wembley. And after 10 glorious years, it might be the same story for the greatest manager in the history of Manchester City. The next few weeks will tell us what Pep Guardiola's future actually holds. 55 days ago, they made the same walk to pick up the League Cup. It's a familiar path trodden so many times in recent seasons by the Manchester City players and by the Manchester City manager. What a day for him, Alex.
Yeah, you're running out of superlatives, aren't you? He has been absolutely outstanding. 747 teams started out this tournament. And it all ends this way with City going up those steps to lift the FA Cup. And you've got to say, well deserved this too.
It must be quite a tiring walk up the steps, Stephen, when you've lost, but you must float up there when you've won.
Oh yeah, it's a different feeling. Emotion, energy, you find it from somewhere. Lapping it up, all the appraisal.
It's not lost on anybody, look, that the conversation continues between captain and manager, two men who have won so much together, two men who have been through so much together. We know that one of them isn't going to be here next season. We wait to see about the other three involved in the conversation as well.
You can't underestimate the importance of senior players, that connection to the head coach, manager. They're like the outside, you as a coach. It is your philosophy, your style, they implement it on the pitch.
Reakcji.
French under-19 international. He arrived on loan from Strasbourg in February. Mendes. And now just a bit too strong for Al Harvey. Here's Al Hedgie. Two former allowed players in this MSC team. Ryan Messi. Paris Anthony getting up in support. Plenty of options in the middle here. The MSC had three in the box, but safely gathered by Bono.
It's been a good start from both teams. So yeah, both teams. It doesn't feel end of the season kind of game where usually you think both teams are a bit tentative and don't want to get forward, but both teams want to get forward on the front foot.
Cano. Malcolm. Now pursued by Paris Anthony. Now Milinkovic-Savic finding a bit of room. Far side, the Frenchman Hernandez. Going for return from Ruben Neves. Goes down inside the box. Alpriet, the culprit.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, probably seen it in my replay to the spot, Alpriet. I don't know why he's making contact. Obviously, he's arguing and saying it's not until we see the replay. Well, I don't know. contact. But if, you know what? If it is a penalty, it's accidental. He does have a shirt, and then he doesn't let it go. Oh no, there's no contact. I think it would maybe overturn that. Contact was outside the box, and then there was no contact inside the box. I did thought it was a penalty from where the referee's view was, but when you look at the replay, I think VAR will intervene, and I don't think the penalty will be given.
Certainly a theatrical fall by Leo Hernandez as he went down, but first opportunity for VAR. Bastian involved.
Can't see much contact there to send him that. When there is contact, but when he actually goes down, there's no contact on Hernandez. So I think they will send the referee over to go and have a look at VAR. At the monitor, sorry.
You can see Tello in conversation with the video assistant referees. Two captains always interested in what's being said. Decisions are going to be made.
I think he said like the contact may be outside. We're going to see if it continues inside. So they're still checking it. And Zagni wants the penalty, but it looks like maybe the penalty has been given. It still says they're checking, but
well, yeah. Penalty is the verdict. So Ruben Neves, who scored 7 penalty kicks this season in the league, and scored the winner from the spot when these sides met back in January, has an early opportunity to put Al in front this evening. Pulka is a big man, 6'6" on his goal line. But Neves touches it beyond the giant in the goal. Familiar outlook from the Portuguese, and Al Hilal
back to the fourth corner. I still think it's a harsh penalty. I do think it is a harsh penalty. I think the contact initially was outside the box, and not every contact is a penalty. But as I said, when Neves steps up, what's a penalty there? Once he hits that side net in mind, goalkeeper has no chance.
Side foot, but genuine pace on the seam in the corner. The perfect start for Zaghi and Al Hilal. Al Hilal 1, the MSC 0. With just 10 minutes on the clock. An early sign that one were needed that well, are not going to give up this chase to the top.
No, they shouldn't do anyway. You put as much pressure as you can on that. And try and score as much goals as you can and put real pressure on that.
Hegazi. Backfield from Indonesia. Forward to Al Hilal's way. Hernandez has lost it. Lacazette has pushed that through to Rodriguez. Now he goes down. Challenge from Nasser Al-Dosori. Cesar and Lacazette involved in the initial conversation. It's going to be Mohamed Al-Bayek to take the free kick. Whistles and cheers from the home support. Al Hilal brought everybody back to defend this. In by Albi. Albiak. Rodriguez not anticipating that pass.
It's just got to be it's got to be the contact with that arm, the way the referee gives it. Where he pulls the arm slightly in the box, and that's where the initials. And so if VAR don't think it's a clear and obvious mistake, they think the referee's made the right decision, and I think that's where he's probably get the penalty from the pull of the arm.
Good response though from the Messi.
Yeah, they could have sat there and sulked about Messi, but no, they brought him slowly into the game. They have to keep the ball, get some of their big players on the boards for sure. Likes of Lacazette.
This one on the back of an unbeaten run of 3 games. They were victorious on Monday against Al Shabab. But needed 2 penalties in that one themselves as Milenkovic Savic dispossessed as far as Abdi. Spectacular return by Leonardo, no contact, but recollected by Neves. And now Halal looks to come again with Hernandez who crosses. Milenkovic Savic. Al-Tambati. Shields it away from Monash. It's a goal kick for Messi. Neves coming across on the cover, reading the danger and finding a colleague. Sal Morsi couldn't control it though and get hold of it, so it's Lacazette trying to burrow his way through. Here's the Frenchman again. This looks promising. Can he get the shot away? He can! Unable to keep it down, but more encouragement for Coach Galtier.
Yeah, good play from Messi, in particular from Lacazette. Good little 1-2. Once it's out like that, he only had one thing on his mind. And you see over many seasons he'll score from that kind of distance. So yeah, they come back into the game, Messi. Yeah, they had that huge blow to see the penalty and the early goal from Ruben Neves' penalty. But they've been good since they conceded.
So just hope that an early goal would just calm everybody down inside the stadium, and particularly on the pitch. Perhaps kill off Neil Messi early on, but the visitors have responded positively. So they search a speedy reply. There's the man that won the penalty, Theo Hernandez. And there's the man who scored it. Malcolm. Sorry. Amandash. Milenkovic Savic. Neves headed away, but it almost dropped for Marcos Leonardo. Now reclaims. Hernandez looks to build again. Marcos Leonardo, footed by Zeze. Good move from Ghana. A rare misplaced pass from Ruben Neves. Collector's item that. Here's Kone. Khalifa. Great challenge sending Hernandez down to the turf.
Yeah, there's no need. It's going nowhere. You just a bit of pressure out there, and you just make a needless tackle. Give the referee the easy decision. So I'm giving free kick.
Here's Aldasori. This remarkable unbeaten record that Al Hilal possess. 40 games in the Saudi Pro League. This is their last defeat, which was over a year ago now, last April, here against Al Nassr. Al-Sabati. Randash. Savage. Neves. And that's being forced back by Faris Abdi. Cesare for Ghazi. That's the current picture with Al Hilal leading this one. Season concludes on Thursday, of course. Looked like it was a foul on Lacazette. Momentarily, the NSC stopped as Hernandez carries it forward for Al Hilal, and has a go. Not the winner in the King's Cup final the other week, Hernandez.
Yeah, it's good play from Hernandez. There was a foul on Lacazette, definitely. And it should have probably been stopped, but he didn't care. Hernandez, he picked the ball, kept on going. You know he's got a good left foot, but he's always rising over the knee on SC goal.
Hello, steering it left towards Hernandez. Tabati. Sorry. Harvey. Some strong for Hernandez. cheated by Messi. Big Savage, very important interception by Faris Abdi. Mandash was the target, but Messi have given it away again. Here's Malcolm. Well, they've played up top that often, Malcolm and Leonardo, just not quite on the same wavelength.
No. Usually they've got a good wavelength when he's coming from the right, but you're spot on mine. When it's different position playing up front, it's totally different. It's something Malcolm's not used to.
It's good pressure from Messi on Al Tambacti, and I'm sure that he had to do something with that. And Al Tambacti cleverly plays it off the LSC youngster with the goal kick. So just past the midway point in this one, Al Hilal in front, just joining us. A penalty from Ruben Neves, his 8th penalty and 12th goal of the season. Al Hilal have to win, but as you're alluding to it, Clinton, they could do with winning it with a few goals as well. That would put a little bit extra pressure on Al Nassr.
Yeah, well, going into the final games of the season, they put a big pressure on them as well. So nothing's ever plain sailing to win a league, that's for sure.
Good movement on the left-hand side by Hernandez. Two protagonists face to face again as he comes back to Ruben Neves. Square of him, Aldasori. Milinkovic Savic. Now Mandash. Come back to Lucid beyond Cano. Possession too cheaply in the last few moments, the LSC.
Yeah, they've got to be better in possession than Messi. If they're not, if not, it's going to just keep coming back. You need to give your defenders a better respite. But you've got to try and play out through the middle. Like Kone has to try and get on the ball in midfield. Who's a good player and who's had a good season. Starting attacks on the LSC.
Ruben Neves, who is bound to be looking to play an important part in Portugal's World Cup campaign come June and July. Kick off their tournament in Houston against DR Congo. Harvey for Cano. Hedging forward. A bit of space in the middle of the park with Kone. Looking to run away from Mandash, who is held back. And wins his side a free kick.
It's good strength from Kone. It takes a bit of time for him to get into his running, but once he does, he's a powerful young man. And yeah, Mandash just disruption, and he just has to go down and fall down. It's a good free kick for Mandash to give, to be fair.
Just 21 years of age, Amadou Kone, one of their many summer signings. Virtual ever-present this term. Well, the previous free kick that Albriac delivered was decent and brought an attempt on goal, and stopped pretty easily, but it was an opportunity of sort. Mandash hooked for that challenge, I think. Cheap yellow. And here's the free kick for Albriac. Martin was the target, not quite deep enough for him, headed away by Hernandez, and maybe the counter-attack is on here. Malcolm on this right-hand side, Mandash is darting forward. Actually back for the LSC at the moment. And it's stabbed away by Al-Hedji. And clearance to turn into a pretty good pass to Kone. actually scored fewer goals than they've conceded this season, the LAC, but they have scored in each of their last 7. So they will feel confident that they can pose threat today.
Yeah, they can, the LAC, you're right, they can pose a threat. The thing is, you need to get this guy in the game, Lacazette, and a bit higher up the pitch.
It's Lacazette to swing it in, but not sufficient quality for Rodriguez to have any chance of getting on that.
No, and their main source of goals recently have come from Benrahma. When you have a player like that, he's missing this evening. It's a huge blow for them because he's probably been their best player this season.
Confirmation that yellow card for Sultan Mandash. We will hope that he will be involved in Saudi Arabia's World Cup campaign. Came on in the recent friendly, a 4-0 hammering against Egypt. Mistake by Al-Harbi. Here's Al-Hedji from the LIC. Stopped by the powerful figure of Milinkovic Savic, who looks long towards Mandash.
He's actually done well to referee there, you know. I mean, in the first 29 minutes, in 30 minutes, he's done ever so well. Al-Hedji's nowhere near strong enough. Just runs into Milinkovic Savic and throws himself on the floor. I like the way the referee just says, get up and get on with it. You're not going to get the foul. He soon gets up because he's not injured.
Frustrated with himself there, taking it in stride. But obviously, it would have speedily. It's Kone. Straight to Hernandez.
That's the problem for me, honestly. Giving the ball away too cheaply. And they're having a lot of spell of the ball, but they're not using it correctly. Giving the ball away, not being a threat. Need to get the Messi on his left-hand side into the game. He looks like he's got pace, but hasn't really seen enough of the ball at the moment.
Here's Al-Harbi. Otabati. Mandash. Step away from Faris Abdi. Just about manages to keep it in play. Pull that got happening well though.
He's competitive, Abdi. He loves it. He's wholehearted as well. He's honest. And he always gives 100%. I like him as a fullback, really do.
Competitive is certainly the word. 7 yellow cards this season for Faris Abdi. Malcolm collected it. Malcolm now through for Marcus Leonardo, and somehow Pulcra's kept it out.
Balco makes a save, but Leonardo shouldn't be letting him make the save. It's a good save from Balco, but it's brilliant play here from Malcolm. Look at this for a reverse ball. He's onside as well. He has to score to make it 2-0. It's a good save from Balco, but it's a poor finish from Leonardo.
Excellent reflexes from the Polish international there.
It's not in the corner, mine. I thought it said in the goal. You got credit Balco. It's a good save. And it's a save you expect him to make, but if that's in the corner, that's 2-0. It's a mountain for the FC to get back into that game.
In front, but not creating a plethora of opportunities so far. Al Hilal. As long as it's 1-0, Christophe Galtier will feel that his team are very much in this contest. Lacazette very deep. Finds out need to get motoring. Messi just holding his run momentarily to his left. Great work from Big Savic and Mandash to replay for Al Hilal. Messi frustrated that the pass didn't go.
Yeah, Faris Abdi should give him the ball. He wants him to make the run. Just give him to his feet and let him go and take on Tambati. Instead, he's trying to play it inside Tambati and ends up losing the ball. Just give it to the young man's feet, Messi, and let him have a run.
Kodak, Lacazette, given away by Al-Hedji. And Massa does likewise.
It's catching him the ball.
Albert. He's found Messi. He's got Al-Hedji making moves inside the penalty area. It's cleared as far as Kodak. That was an ambitious attempt, put away by Altan Bakti. Straight to Faris Abdi. Here's Al-Hedji. Now Messi's cross. And off. Altan Bakti behind for the corner.
See, when they string through 1 or 2 passes, instead of panicking Neon SC, they get into good areas. They have got players that can cause problems. Al-Hedji, midfield, we highlighted him before. He has to improve. Because I feel Kono's been okay in there, but Al-Hedji has to be better in midfield beside him.
Albert, who considered the penalty, taking all of these set pieces for Messi. Can he get this one right? Arrow at the near post by Ruben Neves. Marcus Leonardo has got it away though. Lacazette will chase. Forces another corner off Al-Harbi.
Neon Messi, you think you get these crosses into dangerous area. Al-Ghazi's got to be one of the best headers in the league. Big centre up, he does go to tackle.
Short this time, turned in by Albert. Sese really could to get his head to it, but couldn't quite. Al-Ghazi's strike. Bono not tested.
I didn't think he could strike it like that. I thought he could don't win it with his head, but yeah, I thought it's going to be after his son guy to beat Bono from there. He's always better wide than the post.
Good noise inside the stadium. Blue pretty much everywhere. Lacazette, good strength. Austin carry. Perfect diagonal too. Well brought down by Albert. This looks promising. Al-Hedji. Go there. Lacazette knows he can't play and he's offside.
Good play there from Messi. It starts with Lacazette. Great strength. Just rolls off Ruben Neves. Plays a good ball there. I can see what Kone was trying to do, but he wants it earlier, Lacazette. Not from Kone, from Al-Hedji in midfield. That's a simple pass where he could have rolled Lacazette in there and he made a good run.
Madash has done much chewing against Faris Abdi. Fails to get past him again. Lucky bounce off the leg of Savage might open up things here for Al Hilal. It's Balcon. Marcus Leonardo. Surrounded by white jerseys, can't get the shot away. Falls for Malcolm. So sensate. Here's Hernandez. Left it up. Marcus Leonardo. Malcolm wants it on his favourite left foot, the chance is gone.
Summed it up brilliantly, Mike. Wants it on his left foot. You've got to be able to strike that with your weaker foot, Malcolm. If you're right foot, just swing it. You never know what's going to happen.
Sandwich. Good play with Al-Hedji. Out for Lacazette. It's so deep at the moment, Clinton, isn't it?
He's trying to do El Hadji and Kone's job.
So
Stuff.
you're
I think he needs to be further up in that probably possible number 10 role, but he's not getting much of the ball.
Kone. Sese. Messi.
Don't mind that, Messi. At least you're trying to be positive coming in. Yeah, you might not have got the hit the target, but that's it. Come inside and try and make things happen. Be positive, because that's how Neo and Messi are going to get back into this game, trying to be positive.
There's not sure of confidence around Messi. Pretty much been a presence since that low move from Strasbourg in February. Came off the bench on Monday, but prior to that, he'd started the previous 4 in a row. So, Galtier certainly believes in him. Norbert Savage with a chance to release Van Dash to his right. Malcolm and Marcus Bernardo are up there too. Van Dash has lost it. Foiled by Faris Abdi, helped out by Milinkovic Savic.
It's a bit of a lesson for Kone at the moment, because physically, Milinkovic Savic is all over it. So great strength there to roll off Kone. I think he's got injured for it. I'm competing with him, and that's just the strength of Milinkovic Savic.
Interesting to see that Milinkovic Savic has returned to the Serbian international fold, hasn't he, in recent weeks? He announced his retirement at the end of the Euros, but was recalled to the picture in March. So, I mean, he's such a good player. He deserves to be on the international stage, doesn't he?
Yeah, and the way he's playing at the moment, why would you not pick him? Like, if you're the Serbian international manager, you pick your best players, and he is one of your best players at the moment. So, for me, that's the right decision, and that's the penalty you're getting. What a penalty is, never in my mind did I think he was going to miss mine. It's a side foot. It's a hard side foot into that side net. But yeah, Milinkovic Savic, as he's going back to it, deservedly should be playing international football. Still think he's doing it week in, week out.
Kone winded it as much as anything by the looks of things. Go back to the penalty conversation. Vincent, back in your day, were you a man who placed it or passed it?
No, I placed it. I tried to always side foot it, but with power on it. When you see these footballers nowadays with the stutter and stuff like that, looking at the goalie, I wasn't brave enough to do that. I just knew what my spot was, and I backed myself. Even if the goalie went early, I would still go that side, because that's the confidence that I had in myself to have enough pace and power on it to beat the goalkeeper and get in that corner. Not every time you're going to score, but you got to back yourself. It's like being in a one-on-one situation.
Closing stages then of this first half. Al-Hilal, one to the good, but not having it all their own way. And there's Al-Tambakti, who's well forward. It's the second bite. Hernandez. Trapped all the way. Hernandez. Under pressure, but a brilliant goalkeeper.
Brian gets away with one there, because they'll hardly done well to dispossess it, but he lost it in that area. There was an opportunity for
Lacazette. Foul by Ruben Neves. Just he's good at the moment. Alexander Lacazette. There might be a bit of a tweak there. We're closing in on half time, so might be something that they can address during the interval. I'm running without side Ben Ron. They can ill afford to lose Lacazette too. Zeze. Khalifa for Albiak. I'll tell you something, but the way Ruben Neves plays in the middle of the back three there, he could play till he's in his mid-40s, couldn't he? It looks so confident for him.
No, he could. You know what? Good players read the game. He reads the game. His reading of the game is fantastic. So you know that, you see that as you get older, you go back, you drop back, where the game's not as quick. So yeah, in a back three, him as the middleman easily works through. That's why he's one of the best in that holding midfielder as a quarterback, because his passings are outstanding and the reading of the game.
Hernandez. Neves flipped wide work. Hernandez with a tenacious approach. Hasn't walked on out playing around. Sure, we're back on the way with Kovic Savic with a chance to push for a second goal before the interval. Good touch. Cleared away by Zeze for the throw. A couple of minutes of added time then. Hernandez. Ruben Neves. Going to have a blast here. I think he might be going wide, but Bulker taking no risks at all and turns it behind for the corner.
Yeah, Bulker's got to know his angles there, that from where the shot is. No, I can understand. No, I'm not going to be too critical of him. I thought it was a lot, wider than that. So yeah, he does well. First and foremost, you have to be safe, and he has been safe. I thought he could have held it though. So, but he's done his job.
So Neves with this corner. And it's like I said, they've got his head to it, so it'll be another one for Al Hilal. Sultan Mandash will take responsibility this time. Taking his time to ensure that this will be the last passage of play. Okay, it's like there's every deals with it. Not quite that dash. So, overall thoughts on the first 45?
I'll be happy going in at 1-0. Leo Messi have been disappointing in certain areas, but they've been competitive. So second, they need to come out and have a big second half.
Devised the team at the break. Penalty came upon 10 minutes after Albiak had been adjudged to have brought down Theo Hernandez just inside the penalty area. Few chances for either team to be perfectly fair. At the break, Inzaghi's team lead. It's Al Hilal 1, Leo Messi 0.
Two chains coming in full of silk.
Are you fully recovered from the injury?
I would say for the motorbike, yes. We train well. I would say yes. For normal life, still I need some more money. So, Jorge, what moved you to help me, and what's your motivation of this project?
Ganar. I always believe you have a strong talent that for some reasons you couldn't use it at your full potential.
Yes, what I feel is that after 3 months working together, probably I
Apa
was
kalau
not
rasa?
doing everything I could do to explore, to found my maximum
Pakai app?
talent.
Iya.
No, my performance always but how I see now it's 150% compromise. What would you say to the people that say we want us more?
I think Buriram is the higher test. We pass Buriram, I think we can last a little longer. But Buriram is our higher goal. We have to win some ahead. So what is the higher goal for you? That's it. When you start to think to call me again or to start thinking again, what's the start time?
For me, when I joined the Kenyan project, because I joined was hard to adapt to the car, and I think that you could help me a lot.
What would you go all in? How to win the championship? Because your target is making them to try to win.
Yes.
What makes you move?
First of all, the ambition and the desire to win the title. That's for me one key. And after that, I have a dream since I was a kid, and especially I believe I can do it. But I need the correct tools to do it. So working with you, I believe I have the correct tools. What's the thing that impressed you the most about me?